You're driving across the Utah desert. The road is empty, the sky dead quiet. Then a rumble, the ground shakes, and in the distance something rises. It's not a plane, not a drone. It doesn't even make sense. You reach for your phone, but there's no signal. And as you get closer, the road ends. No signs, no fences, just a single black SUV waiting with its headlights on. They say Area 51 is where the government hides its secrets. But what if I told you there's a place even more secretive? A place where strange lights are still seen in the sky, where animals die mysteriously, and where insiders claim something is being kept underground. This is Dugway Proving Ground. Tucked deep within the Great Salt Lake Desert lies a military facility so large it could fit Area 51 nearly 10 times over. Most people have never even heard of it, but Dugway Proving Ground has been active since 1942, quietly operating in the shadows of American history. Officially, it's a weapon testing center, a place where the US Army develops and evaluates chemical, biological, and radiological defenses. But the truth goes much deeper. With 800,000 acres of restricted land and some of the most intense security in the world, Dugway is completely sealed off from public access. Armed patrols, motion sensors, underground labs, and an entire mock town built just to test what happens when weapons are unleashed on civilians. Inside, they've simulated nuclear fallout, released chemical agents, even deployed weaponized anthrax under controlled conditions. But here's the thing, those are just the experiments we know about. What sets Dugway apart isn't just what happens above ground, it's what might be happening beneath it. Multiple insiders and former employees have come forward over the years, describing massive underground structures, high-speed rail tunnels, and testing chambers so large they could house aircraft or something else entirely. Satellite images show strange patterns in the sand, perfect geometric layouts that don't match anything in the public records. And just like Area 51, flight paths over Dugway are restricted. No drones, no satellites, nothing gets in or out without permission. But unlike Area 51, Dugway isn't a relic of the Cold War. It's still active, still expanding, and still deadly. Because what happens when one of the world's most secretive facilities loses control? That's exactly what happened in 2011, and the military tried to keep it buried. On March 1st, 2011, something inside Dugway went horribly wrong. Without warning, the entire base went into full lockdown. Over 1,200 employees were trapped inside. No one was allowed to leave. No statements were made. Just silence. For nearly 24 hours, even the Utah's governor's office was left in the dark. Eventually, the military released a brief and carefully worded statement. A vial of VX nerve agent was unaccounted for. That's one of the deadliest chemical weapons ever created. A single drop can kill a human in minutes. According to the army, it was just a clerical error. They said the nerve agent was never actually missing, just miscounted. But here's the problem. The lockdown had already triggered the emergency response protocols across the state. Civilian agencies were on alert. Something had gone wrong. And this wasn't the first time. Back in the 1960s, over 6,000 sheep mysteriously dropped dead near Dugway in a single night. Locals found them lying in the fields, eyes open, foam around their mouths, no signs of a struggle. The army denied involvement. Later, it was revealed that Dugway had been testing VX gas in the same area that day. An internal memo admitted that the spray plane may have accidentally released agent over the populated area. They paid damages, but never took official responsibility. Since then, residents living near the base have reported strange illnesses, skin rashes, hair loss, animal deaths, and even now, every few years, something else leaks, just long enough to raise questions before disappearing again. In 2015, it was discovered that live anthrax spores had been accidentally shipped from Dugway to dozens of labs across the US and abroad, not once, but over 70 times. These shipments went undetected for years. Each time, officials claimed it was a mistake, A glitch, a failure in the protocol. But how do you accidentally ship live anthrax to 86 labs? Unless the protocols are just a cover-up. And the real experiments are much darker than they want us to know. Because what if these accidents weren't accidents at all? And what if the chemical weapons were just a distraction? Because buried beneath all the official testing are reports of something else happening at Dugway. Things that don't belong in any science lab, and sightings that defy everything that we know. Utah has always been a hotspot for strange phenomena. Skinwalker Ranch, the Uinta Basin, and now Dugway Proving Ground. But what's different about Dugway is the witnesses aren't just farmers or hikers. They're soldiers, scientists, contractors, pilots, people with security clearances, people with everything to lose. In 2004, a contractor working near Dugway reported seeing a triangular-shaped aircraft hovering silently above the desert floor. It had no visible propulsion, made no sound, and moved in a way that no known plane could replicate. He later said it didn't look man-made, and it sure as hell wasn't one of ours. Then came the sightings of orbs, bright, pulsing lights that danced across the sky in impossible patterns. Some witnesses described them splitting in two before disappearing. Others saw them vanish instantly, as if they've never been there at all. And then there's the quietest airstrip in America, Michael Army Airfield. Officially it's just part of the base, but it has runways large enough for bombers, hangars big enough to swallow fighter jets, and no commercial flylogs. No one knows what flies in or what flies out. A former test pilot once claimed that Dugway is home to unacknowledged black projects, crafts developed with technology that hasn't been disclosed to the public and might not even come from this world. For years, researchers, ex-personnel and local tribes have whispered about something beneath Dugway. Not just bunkers, not just labs, but something older. Some say the army didn't choose this location by chance. The Goshute and Utah tribes have long avoided this part of the desert. They call it the Forbidden Zone, a place where spirits move through the earth and the land was thin. Stories of strange lights, vanishing hunters, and things emerging from the ground go back centuries. When the military took over the land in the 1940s, they didn't build on it immediately. They surveyed it, they scanned the ground, and then, according to the classified reports, they began constructing deep earth containment facilities more than 1,000 feet underground. There's one story I couldn't ignore. A whistleblower, who identified himself only as Paul, claimed to have worked on an engineering team during a 1968 excavation beneath Dugway. He described a massive underground cavern discovered during routine tunnel expansion. When they broke through, their equipment shut down, radios stopped working, the air felt charged. Inside the chamber, strange symbols carved into the walls. Metal that wasn't metal, and an object, smooth, black, humming like it was alive. The next day, Paul said the entire site was sealed off. Their team was reassigned, their files erased. Years later, another insider mentioned something called the Fold, a rumored experiment designed to manipulate gravitational fields inside a contained environment. If true, it would make Dugway not just a weapons lab, but a testing ground for interdimensional technology. And here's the kicker. In 2012, a classified research grant from the Department of Defense was quietly approved. The subject, transdimensional access via applied high-frequency energy, and the recipient, a private contractor tied to Dugway Proving Ground. This was the same year locals reported a deep rumbling beneath the desert, followed by a blinding flash of light over the base that turned night into day. No weather event, no missile test, just a light, and then silence. Are we talking about weapons, aliens, or something even more dangerous? A terror in reality itself. I know that sounds like science fiction, but when the government is pumping billions into secret facilities we can't even see, built on a forbidden land with a history of unexplained events, we have to ask, what exactly are they trying to open? And more importantly, did they already open it? Officially, Dugway Proving Ground is just a test site, a relic of Cold War defense, a necessary evil in the name of national security. But when accidents are buried, when eyewitnesses are silenced, and when secrets stack higher than the desert mountains, they stop looking like mistakes and start looking like a pattern. Skeptics argue there's nothing unusual about Dugway, that every base has classified programs, that every whistleblower is chasing attention. And maybe they're right, but here's what no one can explain. Why did the government ship live anthrax, not once, but over 70 times, from a facility designed to be airtight? Why were thousands of ships wiped out with no official accountability? Why are even military aircraft banned from flying over Dugway? Why does this facility need a full-scale mock city with homes, schools, and a subway tunnels if it's just a test site? And why has no one, not even Congress, been given full access to what's beneath the base? You can dismiss the UFOs, you can laugh at the idea of portals, but when the secrets are this big, the silence becomes the loudest clue. And maybe that's the point. Maybe Area 51 was always meant to be the distraction, a place where we can point to, while something far more dangerous operated in the dark. Dugway doesn't want your attention, it thrives on your ignorance. And that's what makes it so terrifying. Because the truth is, we don't know what they're doing out there. We don't know what's being unleashed. And we don't know if we can ever put it back. I'll leave you with this. If Dugway is just a testing ground, why is it guarded like the end of the world is waiting inside?